think what O'Doy did was
as intentional.
Was intentional. I don't think it was.
Yeah.
But it's the inconsistency of saying that's not a foul. But then what happened to Majid today is when his hands were in a natural position compared to O'Doy's who weren't.
But what's a natural position? That's subjective.
Yeah, I mean, it's
There's
definitely
always
subjective.
going to be.
But
It has to be across the board.
when your hands were like this, though, that can't be natural.
No.
See, I don't know that the FA is going to do anything.
They're not. They're not. They have a meeting
They can't
tomorrow.
fix the games like that. Then.
Yeah.
They have a meeting tomorrow that is supposed to change all this, and the offside rule, where if your heel is offside compared to the defenders, that is ridiculous. Like and the thing is, this is what also gets me about the offside rule, right? They'll make the lines between the defenders and the forward, right? But they'll never give you
the same body part.
No.
They'll like mark the defender on like the knee or something or the foot,
which
they'll mark.
Technically, they're trying to see which is the most furthest forward body part. Which
they should have the technology to put cameras on the sides of the fields though, and actually get like a side angle view,
like a camera that runs around.
Right.
That basically does the AR's job. You don't need the AR there.
You don't need the AR anymore.
But what they get so down minute about that the defender and the striker trying to go through, right? Why don't they do the exact same thing with a person who's playing the ball 20 yards behind, 5 yards behind? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they don't ever
break it. Some of the long balls over, they don't...
Yeah, if you watch it, they don't ever break it down. Like today, with Werner, that ball, when they did the lines, I don't think the player who played it had connected with the ball yet. Like, they need to do it. If they're going to go to that minute level with the offside with the two players, they need to do it with when contact was made with the ball.
Yeah.
So it's so inconsistent. And the thing is, like, you can't.
And Robertson was back there too, and I don't even think they considered him.
Dude, no. Robertson is good at soccer.
Yeah. But then, like, I don't want, like, the FA are never going to do what they do in, like, Australia, where you can, like after the game, like, with the mics and everything, they release that to everyone so you can hear it. And that's why you see it. Like, it's not in game like you're like a US American football where they tell the crowd what exactly is happening. Like, all that stuff is released afterwards, but, like, they should at least release that stuff afterwards
for transparency.
Yeah, and then, like,
for their sake, even because now they're having to have meetings, and I'm sure a lot of officials are going to have to be either suspended or reprimanded because like it's gotten to a point where, like, it's every single game.
See, that would be the right thing to do, but also
you can't do it.
Protects the
referees
so hard.
Yeah,
because, like, if that referee did say that, right, like, about, like, I can't give United a penalty because it's going to cause uproar.
That's directly from the FA then.
Yeah, if he actually said that, right, and then Shaw says that he said it, and then Shaw gets in trouble, even though the referee actually said that, how does the referee not get held accountable? But then for Shaw saying what actually happened with the truth, gets a fine and 3-match ban.
That's
like
literally like pure corruption.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, what I'm saying, the FA would have had to have told the referees, like, people are talking about, man, you're getting too many penalties, whether or not they're warranted.
Yeah.
That we were getting them.
And I mean, since
but I'm saying, when they tell the referees that, the referees, like, are probably on the field with this in their mind that, like, I can't upset Daddy, like, talking about FA.
Because, I mean, look at since Klopp opened his mouth, before that in 25 games, United had, I think, 13 penalties or something like that, right? Which is an outrageous amount, but you can't. There was not a single penalty that wasn't a penalty in that stretch of calls for United.
No, but our fortune shouldn't dictate the calls in the future.
No,
but it will because of social media, and that's why the FA is hammering down.
Exactly, and then the next 25 games since Klopp said that, United have only had 2 penalties, and the like, it's just if the FA and the referees are that like concerned about how they look to the public, why not make yourself look more transparent so that everyone knows why exactly you make these decisions?
They literally just ref the game and hide. They don't even.
Yeah, they never. And then what happened with Lewis Dunk with Lee Mason? Did you see that?
Oh my god,
that was absolutely ridiculous.
For my team too.
Yeah. And then because it was the same thing that happened with United and Sheffield. The ball was shot with Lewis Dunk, right?
Yeah.
And the ball is in midair, and the referee calls the whistle, right?
Yeah.
But because the ball didn't hit the back of the net before the referee called the whistle, it can't be looked at for a goal.
That's
and then,
ridiculous.
Yeah, and then against
That goes against the entire offsides thing that you were saying a minute ago.
What do you mean?
With them playing past, or like the play going on after offsides is called.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the exact same thing.
And then that same game, right? I can't remember, it's Lee Sharp. De Gea's going up to try and win the ball, which he should have won it. We've already talked about this. The guy literally tackled him so he couldn't get it, and that wasn't there was no VAR for that. But then when Maguire's literally standing there waiting for the ball to come to his head, and Ramsdale goes and jumps on top of him, that's a foul. Doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't. Mm. And then, dude, it's so frustrating. There was something else about the Lewis Dunk thing where. Yeah, well, afterwards he was saying that
said it's embarrassing too in the press conference.
Yeah, and then like
rake them through the coals.
Like that referee doesn't have to come out and say anything. Like, how does that make any sense? Like, it doesn't. For him, he literally looked at Dunk. Like, I understand if it's a mistake. Like, if he came out and said it was a mistake, I wasn't paying attention. He wasn't going to be allowed to take the free kick regardless, right? If he had come out and said that, I can respect you more for that because at least you're saying it was a mistake, I shouldn't have done anything. But the fact that they're saying that the referee was in the right and all this stuff, and it's not even him coming out and saying it, that's the issue that everyone has with all these English refs now.
The ref blew the whistle.
The ref, literally, Lewis Dunk was like, can I shoot? The referee blew the whistle. He shot. As he's in midair, he blows the whistle again, and then he makes him retake. But he goes over to VAR to see whether or not he blew the whistle. That's why he went over to the thing.
Because he couldn't remember if he just blew the whistle.
Yes.
Okay.
No. I think
that's
what he said.
Wild.
That's what he said. But I think it was that thing where they were seeing if he blew the whistle before the ball hits the net or crosses the goal line. So if he had blown the whistle, Lewis Dunk shot and it went in, but the referee called the whistle after that, it would have been a goal. But because it didn't cross the goal line yet, and he blew his whistle, it's not a goal.
The thing is, no West Brom player. It was West Brom against West Brom.
Yeah, not a single one of them contested.
Or would have said anything because who the fuck would have even known that's a thing?
But even like the only time you're supposed to wait for the referee to blow the whistle on a kick is if you ask for 10 yards. So if your goalkeeper is if the opposing goalkeeper is already on his post and you didn't ask for 10 yards, you can take it.
It's been done for years.
Yeah, Ryan Giggs literally scored like 5 goals like that for United.
Yeah.
Like he just looked at the ref. He's like, I don't want 10 yards. Referee's like, okay. The goalkeeper's on his back post. He shoots the front post and it goes in. Like you don't have to ask for 10 yards. So Dunk didn't ask for 10 yards because clearly they were not 10 yards back. Because if you look at when he
set up yet.
Yeah, when you look where he was taking the shot from when he scored originally to the second time, they were back 4 or 5 yards. So what Lee Mason did was completely incorrect. So and then what is also another really screwed up thing is that VAR doesn't go back and check for yellow cards, which okay, I understand. Like a yellow card is not worthy enough to go back for, right? Yeah. But against Burnley, United had that one play where Luke Shaw gets the entire ball. Now, granted, he goes over the ball and he steps on I think Robbie Brady's ankle, but then United are through. Cavani literally has the ball 1-on-1 with the keeper, and then I can't remember who it was. It was Robbie Brady who came in behind Cavani, took him out, and it should have been a red card, right? And a penalty. And then they go back and give Luke Shaw a yellow card.
Oh,
if you can't give a yellow card on VAR, why are you going back? Like, if you're going to call a foul on Luke Shaw, that's fine. But you're not allowed to call a yellow card on it by the law of VAR. So why did Shaw get a yellow card then? You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you were to say, okay, Shaw fouled, so it's a foul. Okay, that's fine. By the law that you have written...
Call that foul right then.
No. By the law that you have written, that if you're
he should have never gotten one.
I mean, I could see why they called it a foul. I'm not arguing that.
You get that, yeah.
I'm saying that if you're going to if you're going to look at VAR, VAR is going to tell you a player needs a yellow card, which they're not. That's the rule. Like, you don't stop for yellow cards to go back to VAR. Then... you call the foul on Shaw because that's the beginning of the play to United, right? I completely understand that. But then, by your law, you can't give Shaw the yellow card.
Right.
You can give the foul against it, but you can't give him the yellow card, which that's what I'm saying. Like, how were they able... like, I understand the foul, but the yellow card should not have happened.
It was out of bounds.
Like,
yeah. Okay.
So, like, it's just... the whole thing about it, and we said this about VAR last year with the offside. Like, it is... unless you have daylight, like, you're a yard in front of the defender... then it shouldn't be. Like, if your shoulder is from here to here difference, I don't see how that you have any advantage whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then when Mane I think it was against Everton, he was coming back from an offside position, didn't even have the advantage of going the opposite direction. He comes back, the ball is played as he's coming back, and then he has to turn, take on a player, and shoot and score. Where was his advantage there? Like, there wasn't. I get he was technically offside, but his heel was what was offside compared to Holgate's heel, and it was like maybe 5 centimeters, maybe. So it's just.
I don't think they can accurately, and I think they know that they can't accurately tell what it is each time. I mean, I'm sure 50% of the offside checks from VAR are them like sitting there actually unsure, and they just have to go with one or the other because you can't call that.
Yeah, you can't call it down to that minute state. Like that's if Mane was a yard offside. Like, okay, this is the other thing against Villa when City were up 1-0. I think it was Bernardo Silva was miles offside, right? He went to pressure the keeper. He was miles offside.
He came back on for 2 seconds and then
no. He wasn't even on. The ball gets played by the keeper. And then Gundogan wins the header. And as it's coming back to Mings, Bernardo Silva's coming back to contest Mings for the header. That's offside.
Yeah.
Because Gundogan hits it forward, and your player's coming from an offside position, and then they score off that. Where is the consistency? Like, that is offside. Just regardless of VAR, that is offside. Like, it is so insane. And then that's the other thing. People are always talking about United get all these calls. United have had the most calls overturned in VAR because they've had the most calls against them, like called against them incorrectly to begin with. That's why they have the most overturns for VAR. If you're going to call the game correctly, then United wouldn't have all these overturns of VAR. If anything, it's showing that the referees are having a bias against United to not give them the calls. Like, so when people are saying this about United and VAR, it's like, no, they're literally calling it incorrectly, and then they have to be corrected because it is wrong in the first place. Oh, dude. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. And then the other thing about David Luiz on, what was his name? The Wolves guy.
Jimenez.
Was it? No.
Never mind.
No, the red card a couple weeks ago. They literally.
Oh God! Yeah.
Literally an hour
Juan
later.
Jose?
Yeah, literally an hour later. The same thing with Martial and Benderek. Like, I understand that shouldn't have been a red card, right? For either of them, because, like, I mean, Benderek was probably more of a red card than David Luiz's, because he went in and he pulled back. So Benderek probably should have got a red card, but it got rescinded anyway. But the thing about the rule is, if you are the last man back and you hit the forward in any way and you unintentionally, it's a red card. So I understand saying that it's like, looking at it as a sports fan, you can't say like that's not a red card, right? But by the rule, it is a red card.
If you unlawfully dispossess him and you're the last man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, accidentally. That's the thing. If it's accidental, it's a red card. But if you are actually making an attempt to go for the ball, then it's only a yellow.
Hold on. What?
Yeah. Yeah. That is literally the rule.
Verbatim?
That is literally the rule. Yes.
If it's an accident.
If it's an accidental foul as the last man back, it is a red card.
So I can fuck him up and not hit the ball at all, and I get a yellow.
As long as you make an attempt towards the ball.
Ollie got kicked out of a game. He got a red card. I don't know if it was a second yellow, but he got a red card one time for making that exact tackle.
Yeah.
He was the last
man.
Well,
again, the rules have changed since then, but yeah.
But so, you'd think an accident would be a yellow and then
exactly.
a blatant.
Yeah.
Where's the logic?
There's not.
Yeah.
If anything, if you're going to say...
That's the FA.
Yeah, if you're going to say that the accident is a red card, you have to say that the action of actually going for it is a red card too.
There's
regardless
intent.
of if you're last man or not.
Well, there's intent with a blatant foul when you're the last man. There's intent there, and I feel like that warrants a red.
Yeah.
I can see an accident being with a lack
like
of
what
intent.
happened with Luiz and William Jose, where William Jose's running and Luiz is like kind of running behind him, and like you can see he's not trying not to foul him, and then it clips his knee. Yeah. Like that's not a red card. Yeah. And when Palmer was saying
yellow at best.
When Palmer was saying that William Jose kicked his leg back to hit Luiz, no, he didn't. I've watched that over so many times. He did not. It was not a red card. It was definitely a foul. It wasn't a red card. But by the law that the FA have put out, it was a red card. That's the same reason why Benderek got a red card. An hour and a half later. It's super stupid, but both of those calls were correct calls. And if Arsenal had done a what is it called when you can